Welcome back to Wined and Dined. I'm your host, Mark DeWolf. So in today's tasty edition, we're going to talk about making curry. And I had the great pleasure of interviewing Mary Anne Mohanraj, who's a noted novelist, academic, and a cookbook author. You know, she recently released a cookbook called Vegan Serendib about her Sri Lankan heritage and translating that into plant-based cuisine. I think it's such an appropriate thing to cook during the autumn and the fall. You know, we have great local produce available to us, and then enhanced with some seasonings that we associate with Asia and Southeast Asia, India, and Sri Lanka. We can make a really delicious curry. You know, in interviewing Mary Anne for this article that you'll find on SaltWire.com, you really discovered a little bit about Sri Lankan cuisine, which I wasn't familiar with. You know, it's almost a blend of India and Southeast Asia. So a lot of the same spices they use in India, and a lot of coconut and coconut milk, which I associate more with like places like Thailand. So for today, we're gonna make a version of her pumpkin curry. I've decided to use squash, but the seasonings are gonna be things like cumin, mustard seed, fenugreek, a little bit of ginger, a little garlic, chilies to give it some spice, some curry leaves, and a little bit of coconut milk, and lime to kind of freshen it up. So come back, we're gonna get prepped, and then we're gonna make a really delicious, really seasonally appropriate curry, and we'll do that in just a minute. Okay, so we're prepped and ready to go. This is such an easy dish to make. So we're going to add some oil to the pan. Starts to get hot, we're gonna just add in some onions. So I have the recipe from Mary Anne just because I'm making it just for a smaller group, but if you wanna make the full recipe, go ahead. So I only used about two and a half onions. Then pretty generous amount of garlic to the pan, a lot of ginger. There's no shortage of flavor to this dish. Chilies, you know, we got a few chilies in there. Tone it down if you like. If you don't like it that spicy, tone down the chili mixture. And then we just have some spices. So we have a little cumin, mustard seed, and fenugreek. If you can't find fenugreek, just omit it. It's still lovely with just the cumin and coriander. So we're gonna sweat that off. We're gonna get that kind of a bit golden brown. Once that's golden brown, we're gonna add in our squash, our coconut milk and water, and then we'll have a finished curry. So come right back, and we're gonna season this and make sure we have a great start to a wonderful curry. So we're back. We've got our onions nicely caramelized, you know, really soft. The dish is really fragrant. Now we're gonna add in our pumpkin, or for me, it's squash. So as you'll notice, I kind of just roughly chop the squash, so there's different sizes. Mary Anne recommends that because the smaller pieces are actually going to cook down and become part of the sauce. So we've got the squash in. Now, I'm adding just a little unsweetened coconut. That's not in the Mary Anne's recipes, but I'm just adding that as my own little twist. We're gonna add in our coconut milk and water. Some curry leaves, which just find at your local Asian food store. Believe it or not, I found these at Walmart for just a couple dollars. So we're gonna now simmer that off for about 20-25 minutes, finish it off with a little bit of lime juice, a little bit of seasoning, and then we have a finished pumpkin, or in my case, squash curry. So come right back. Okay, welcome back to Wined and Dined. We've got this beautiful curry cooked. You can see the smaller pieces kind of broke down and incorporated with coconut milk to make a really lovely, vibrant orange sauce. So got some little naan bread here on the side, some rice. Finish it off, we're just gonna garnish it with some pomegranate seeds. You could use pumpkin seeds, fresh cilantro, whatever you like. What's left to do? Well, one, we're gonna have a bite, and then we're gonna have a glass of wine. So what wine should we have with this wonderful curry? Well, you'll have to watch one of my In a Jiffy wine tip videos to find out what the best pairing for spicy food is, or to be honest, I have a really rich South African Chenin Blanc. Keeping with the Indian Ocean theme, why not go to South Africa and discover a real wonderful wine style called Chenin Blanc. So we'll see you again soon, and we'll do a little more cooking and a little more wine tasting. Cheers.